Welcome to the short recording on BPP's new enhanced classroom. This recording is made up of two parts. Initially, I will go through the benefits of the enhanced classroom, and this will then be followed by a complete demonstration of the enhanced classroom environment. To start off with, we have designed this program to ensure student success. Some of the key benefits as outlined in front of you is that you will be provided with a series of lectures that cover the entire syllabus. These lectures have been recorded by the same BPP tutors that teach in both our UK classrooms as well as through our online and live environments. The lectures will follow the same materials we use in our classrooms, and these are the materials that BPP produces as part of its approved content status, which is held with the ACCA. The lectures will not only focus on knowledge, but will also, more importantly, focus on the application of that knowledge, and will teach and show you how to develop those key exam and paper skills that are necessary for success. In addition, the enhanced classroom environment will include a series of additional assessments to test your knowledge. It will provide you with personal feedback based on your own individualized performance. It will use the same simulated examination software that is used in the real exams, thereby giving you exposure prior to attempting the real exam itself. And students who work through the lectures and complete the assessments have a much higher chance of passing. The enhanced classroom is designed to support in-center students that choose to study through a face-to-face tuition provider, but is also designed to support self-study students, those students that choose to study on their own in their own time. It's important to note that the enhanced classroom should only be used in conjunction with the official BPP materials in the form of the study text or workbook and the practice and revision kit. So once you have been enrolled onto the enhanced classroom, you'll obtain access to the papers that you are currently studying. The design of the enhanced classroom across all papers is consistent. Here, I'm using the financial reporting paper, previously known as F7, to demonstrate the environment. To start off with, all students will obtain access to a series of tiles. So in this example, you have tiles 1 through to 15. In tile 1, we will introduce you to the paper, giving you information on how to use the enhanced classroom together with some debrief videos from previous exam sittings. You will then have an introduction to the paper directly, which will outline the key syllabus learning areas and key skills that are required in order to be successful in this particular paper. You will also obtain access to a series of assumed knowledge content lectures. So for F7 or financial reporting, the preceding paper is F3 or the financial accounting paper at the knowledge level. Anything that is relevant directly from the F3 paper that has been brought through to the F7 paper, so is assumed that you have this required knowledge, you'll be provided with a series of lectures that will enable you to ensure that your technical knowledge is up to the required level. If we then go into each of the syllabus areas, so you'll see that from tiles 2 through to 11, this will cover the respective technical syllabus areas of the financial reporting paper. The design of each technical area is exactly the same in the sense that you will have an introduction, assessment in the actual topic itself, and a series of practice and apply questions. So if we have a look at accounting for income, what you can see is that initially we will introduce you to the paper. So in this particular tile, it will highlight to you what are the key learning outcomes relevant to accounting for income. It will also give you a very brief summary overview of those topics that we will cover in these particular lectures. Secondly, you'll be presented with a series of what we define as assessment in questions. So these questions are knowledge-based questions that will test your specific knowledge in these particular areas. And what you will have available to you is a series of downloadable PDFs for both the questions and the solutions. So here is an example of your first applied in questions. And as you can see that they will be presented in exactly the same format and style as the exam itself. And once you've completed these, you'll be able to download the relevant answers to the same questions so you can define where you went right and where you went wrong. And here you can see that you'll be given feedback based on what the correct answer is. Next up, you'll obtain access to the actual recordings relevant to the topic area. Now, it's important to note that these lectures are recorded using the official BPP materials, so the course notes, the study text, the workbook, and the practice and revision kit. And in each technical area, you'll be presented with the detailed lecture, which will cover the topics relating to revenue. And at the end of that, you'll have a very brief revenue summary video. So let's have a look very briefly at the revenue lecture.
So when we deal with our revenue recognition, if we think about what we know from the conceptual framework. Now remember what the framework does is it always thinks about revenue from the point, or well, everything from the point of view of the statement of financial position. So therefore, we don't look at revenue from the point of view of, oh, I've made a sale, as it were. This framework looks at revenue by saying if an asset has gone up or a liability has gone down, that can result in an increase in equity. And that includes anything other than that, those contributions from holders of equity claims. So, for example, we're not looking at things like if a shareholder buys some shares.
So let's now have a look at the revenue summary video.
And the standard introduces a 5-step model to help us here. And it's important when trying to determine the point of recognition that we try and apply this 5 stages. So we need to firstly identify the contract with the customer. We then need to work out whether there are separate performance obligations, and if necessary maybe bundle some together if that's going to be more helpful. We need to work out the transaction price, allocate that price to the performance obligations, and then recognize the revenue when a performance obligation is satisfied.
Lastly, you'll be presented with a series of practice and apply questions. So these are the key questions relevant to revenue directly from the BPP's practice and revision kits. So here is an example of the practice and apply questions directly relevant to revenue. And as with your applied in questioning, you'll be presented with both the questions together with the answers detailing and giving you feedback and detailed calculations on how to come up with the correct answer. So that is a brief overview of how each technical topic is outlined. Next up, you'll be presented with a series of further question practice elements. These are key questions and debrief videos that outline key topic areas that will enable you to hone in on those key exam skills necessarily on how to effectively pass a question successfully. So if we have a quick look at a debrief video for Plateau.
Here we're looking at Plateau, which is another section B question giving us five case style questions, or 5 multiple choice questions that relate to one particular case. So it tells us from the information then that on the 1st of October X6, Plateau acquired the following non-current investments. So 3 million shares in Savannah in exchange for 1 share in Plateau for every 2 shares in Savannah.
Next up, you are presented with a series of online knowledge tests. Now, these online knowledge tests are designed to test your basic knowledge across the entire syllabus area. And what you will see is that these knowledge tests will increase in size and complexity as you progress through your studies. So if we have a quick look at the software, as you will see, it's delivered in exactly the same style and format as the real exam itself. So the functionality of what you're presented with will be consistent with what you will have in the exam itself. So what I've done is I've taken the liberty of very quickly, not thinking about it, but very quickly completing this assessment. And what you can see is here is you require at least 75% to be successful. So I've completed this particular assessment, and what you can see is that I have not passed because I was only able to achieve a 50% mark. So on the screen, you'll be able to clearly see which questions you got correct and which ones you got incorrect as defined by their color. So correct is defined as green, and there's the feedback, and then incorrect is highlighted as yellow. Now what you can see is that for each of the questions that I've done incorrectly, it has told me which answer I gave, and it's told me the correct answer and why that is the correct answer. What you do have the ability to do is to effectively save down or print your feedback. If you print your feedback, it'll be presented to you in the form of a PDF. And on this PDF, it will outline for each question where you went right and where you went wrong, and detail the feedback that you need to be aware of in order to effectively minimize your weaknesses and strengthen your position to make sure that you're exam ready. So you've got a complete summary overview of your performance together with detailed feedback telling you why something was wrong and what you need to do in order to get it correct. You are then also provided with a series of supplementary student guidance, and in this particular area, it will provide you with access to changes that have happened between the paper from one sitting to the next. It'll give you guidance on computer-based assessments, an introduction to the actual paper. It will give you guidance on what to do before revision or after revision, which questions to focus your efforts on, and also present you with a series of additional support resources available through the ACSA website. Lastly, you also have access to the CBE practice area. We know that the ACSA exams have moved to a computer-based assessment. So what we feel is that it's important to provide students with access to blank software where they are able to practice questions using examination software that directly simulates what they will see in the exam. So as you can see here, this is BPP's CBE software that mimics the ACSA exams entirely. So you have full functionality such as the scratch pad, the calculator, you have the ability to highlight or strike through as you would in the exam. But what we do here is we simply provide you with a series of blank Excel spreadsheets and blank Word spreadsheets. So if we go to an Excel spreadsheet, what you'll be able to do is to write up your answers whilst practicing towards your exams using the software that is directly relevant to what you'll be presented with in the examination itself. And you will also have this available for Word documents. So if I open up a word processor document, here you'll be able to practice your written answers to ensure that you are prepared by the time it gets to the exam. In conclusion, I would like to finish off by reiterating the benefits of the Enhanced Classroom. The Enhanced Classroom lectures cover the entire syllabus. These lectures are recorded by our very own expert BPP tutors. The lectures will follow the same materials that we produce as part of our approved content status held with the ACCA. The lectures will focus both on knowledge and the application of knowledge, and will teach and show you how to develop key paper and exam skills necessary for success. The environment includes a series of additional assessments to test your knowledge, which will provide you with feedback based on your own performance. It will use the same simulated examination software that is used in the real exams, and students who work through the lectures and complete these assessments have a significantly higher chance of passing. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this recording.